All right, so I would accept the motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with Southborough Teachers Association, Unit A, due to the chairs. And it's my determination that this discussion regarding this matter in open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the position of the committee. And we will return to this open meeting. So if there's a second. Discussion, it's roll call vote. Jess?
Yes.
Tora?
Yes.
Is Kamali here? Yes. Is Kamali?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
I vote yes, and it's unanimous, so we will adjourn. Okay, we are back in open session. First item on the agenda is public comment. Second item on the agenda is new business. Principal's report. Mr. Ryan, Principal Ryan.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to just give a couple of updates about what's happening at our schools. I'll start with the Finn School. I'd like to talk a little bit about our relationship with Algonquin, our high school. Over the past 10 years, we've been a support to the Community Access Program, also known as CAP. The CAP program is a full-day program for post-high school Northborough and Southborough students between the ages of 18 and 21 with varying disabilities. The program was developed to provide the training necessary for successful supported employment and independent living. Over the years, we've had many students from Algonquin's Community Access Program work at the Finn School. We've had students help out in our classrooms, our computer lab, the office, our cafeteria. And this year we have 4 students coming in on Wednesdays, helping out in our music class, our media lab, and our preschool. In addition, we have a group of Algonquin juniors and seniors from the ATOMS program, that's ATOMS, Algonquin Team of Modern Science, who'll be conducting after-school science programming for Finn students. The ATOMS program is intended to engage elementary students with science outside of the classroom. And so far we have about 25 Finn students signed up, and it's taking place on Friday, March 10th. We're also very excited about Read Across America Week happening this week. We have many different exciting and engaging themes supporting the joy of reading. And also this week, we're excited to be celebrating International Social Emotional Learning Day. On Friday, March 10th, we'll be celebrating this day with a variety of fun and engaging activities, focused on building our students' social and emotional learning skills. Starting the day with some community readers, all of whom will be reading the book In My Heart. It's a book about feelings, followed by whole school assembly with an inspirational juggler, Jason Tardy, and thank you to the town of Southborough for funding this presentation. On to the Woodward School, in recognition of SEL Day, again on March 10th, Woodward students will participate in several different activities and experiences designed to help deepen their understanding of mindfulness, self-regulation, and self-awareness. Throughout the week, Miss Good, Woodward's gym PE teacher, has led students in yoga classes and provided additional resources to be used in the classroom. Michelle Carb, principal of the Milliken Middle School, and her therapy dog Betty, along with Christine Apostol and her dog Gabe, will talk to students about the important role therapy dogs serve in our community, specifically in our schools. And the day will end with a care assembly, also with the juggler Jason Tardy. And Woodward would like to thank Dr. O'Connor-Lipton for planning and partnering and securing the funding for Jason Tardy to be at both of our schools. On March 14th, Woodward will be welcoming 15 special guests to share how they use mathematics in their professional lives. Their annual Community Math Day, also known as Pi Day, provides an opportunity for students to learn all about the different professions and careers and how math is woven into nearly everything we do. This year, Woodward is thrilled to welcome a combination of parents, community members, district staff members, and first responders. Professions range from bankers to bakers, financial advisors, purchase managers, research scientists, construction workers, mechanical engineers, and accountants. And to top it all off, NSBoro's very own Rebecca Pellegrino, who will be sharing her work on what she does with
So
numbers. On to NERI. On February 17th, NERI had Julia Baranowski from the Worcester DA's office join their whole school meeting to teach students about cyber safety. This informative presentation focused on bullying, cyberbullying, and the Massachusetts laws associated with each of those that were just mentioned, and online safety. Students learned valuable strategies to stay safe while playing games online or interacting with friends via social media, apps, or texting. NERI students also learned about the importance of trusted adults in their lives and how these trusted adults can be family members, teachers, coaches, etc., and how having a trusted adult can help NERI students talk through difficult situations and get help for themselves or others. Throughout the presentation, a strong focus was on students being upstanders when they see something going on or appear being hurt with someone else's words or actions. The Southborough and Northborough elementary schools look forward to a continued partnership with the Worcester DA's office collectively, and will be offering a virtual parent presentation or did offer a virtual parent presentation on March 8th, which is tonight, from 7 to 8. Which just happened. And on March 2nd, NERI had their start for Read Across America. They invited the Worcester Bravehearts and Railer mascots to join NERI to launch the whole week Ticket to Read program. Students were encouraged to read at least 10 books during the challenge. Each student who reads the 10 books will receive a free ticket to the Bravehearts and Railers game. In each month, they will tally up their scores. NERI will also be celebrating reading success within the building. And a big thank you to NERI's 5th grade teacher, Kim Collins, for organizing this event, and let the reading begin. At Trotter started a free breakfast program before this past week. This opportunity came as a result of some collaboration between Leah Rondo, Trotter's cafeteria manager, and 2 8th grade students, Kaylin Lavault and Mackenzie Cryan. Both students are in Mrs. Mahoney's 8th grade elective student leadership class. Their project was to investigate an issue at Trotter and provide a potential solution. The girls originally wanted to see if there was a way to bring more snack time into the school day. This idea eventually evolved into breakfast before school. The girls presented their ideas to Trotter's leadership team and received some feedback on their proposal. Trotter now has a grab-and-go breakfast program provided with many options for students, including a variety of cereals, granola bars, fruit and drinks. On their first day, they had over 55 students participate, and they're hoping to see a wider selection of options and more participation in the coming school year. And mentioned previously by Mrs. Duggan, Trotter faculty participated in their DOT activity to help measure the level of adult and student connections within their school. As a reminder to the committee, this is an activity where teachers put a dot next to a name of a student who they feel they have a genuine connection with. After this activity was completed, Trotter staff looked for students who either had a 0 or 1 dot next to their name and made a plan for staff members to manufacture those connections with those students. This year, Trotter also asked students if they felt they had a connection with staff and reviewed the list and compared it to their own. At this stage of their activity, Trotter And teachers are identifying which adults will try to build those connections with students. In addition, Trotter staff are sharing resources and practices and ideas on how to build strong relations within the classroom and within the school-wide community. And those are our updates for all 4 schools.
Questions?
Any
I just
questions?
have one little question. I don't know if you'll know this, or, but for Trotter, and I'm sorry if I missed it, but how is the free breakfast being funded? Is that,
It's an excellent
Reimbursable.
question.
oh, it's
It's
reimbursable?
reimbursable.
Oh,
Yeah, like the
wow.
free lunch program.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's good.
that's great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Uh,
Please.
To piggyback on that, I was the head of the cafeteria program. Did he or she like scale it to say, oh, I see that I'm going to order 150 this week, only 100 using it so I can pare down, or you are always going to get 300 and we're wasting a lot?
No, there's not a lot of waste. So especially in the infancy, I think Kyle Parsons working very closely with the Trotter admin about, how are we going to launch this, being able to, scale it correctly to start. So there's not a lot of waste at all.
Okay.
A lot of it is in the beginning going to be shelf stable, like you mentioned, like
Mhm.
granola bars, things of that nature. So it's not like we have omelet stations.
Okay.
That's not where we're starting. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice, but that's not where it's going to begin.
Okay.
Anyone else? I have one, so I know you now have to answer for all the schools.
Sure.
Might get directed to the superintendent.
Can I call a
Um,
friend?
So I noted that Melican had the DA visit to talk about, bullying, et cetera. And I noticed that you mentioned we had the DA come to Neary.
Correct.
But I guess are we thinking about that at all
Yes,
for
so the
Trotter?
DA has a outstanding educational program that is free to all schools in the Commonwealth. So all of our schools, Northborough and Southborough, including Trotter, have accessed that resource and provided information to students. I don't think it has happened this year yet.
It wasn't identified on the chart,
No.
does it?
I
Okay.
don't think it's happened yet. I think they each, are sort of figure out where it fits in their calendar and with their other programs that they're running, so.
And it wasn't always an annual thing, sometimes biannual or every 3 years, like as a student made their way through Trotter, they at least get it once if it was their, canned cyber, safety type presentation. We didn't want to do it every year.
Yeah, it can get a little old.
It can.
In addition to the school work, they also offer some great professional development for staff as well.
Yep.
Which we've taken advantage of over the years.
That's great. Okay, so we're going to move to the Student Support Services Programmatic Review.
Yes, so this evening we have, again, Marie Allen. I apologize, Marie. I didn't realize the combined meeting was going to run this long, so
All right.
this really is a testament to your presentation and how exciting it is. But in all seriousness, our Student Support Services Department does an outstanding job offering a continuum of services for our students. And this evening, she'll provide an overview of those services and some of the programs we offer.
Okay, which one do I choose?
Kohler. Did you see it?
No, that's,
Probably not share it with me, I'll drive.
okay. I think you did that last time,
I
too.
sure did.
Okay. I don't know why it doesn't come up, but, okay. Doing it again. All right, you've got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so tonight I want to present to you our Student Support Services programs, most are sub-separate programs that we have in our districts. And you can go to the next slide. First, here's our organizational chart as it stands today. So working in my department are Kate Clark, who's an assistant director at the high school, Deb Lemieux, who's the assistant director, and she's K through 8 Northborough and Southborough, but she has her district is Northborough mostly, and she services those schools. Helene Desjardins is an assistant director who is mostly in the Southborough schools. And Jennifer Henry is our early childhood administrator at Finn. And we have team leaders. Michelle Moody is our team leader in Southborough. Matt Bertnazzi is our Northborough team leader. And Kristen O'Brien is at Melican in Northborough. And then we have our admin assistants. Okay, next. So our continuum of services covers grades pre-K through age 21. And it's across all 10 buildings, and we have 8 specialized programs within those 10 buildings. And locations of these programs may change based on student needs. So sometimes we will switch things around. Our Castle programs might be located in different schools depending on student need. So there could be shifts in that way. We are always, our focus is on, tonight I'm going to focus on the Southborough programs, but I'll highlight all of them, but just quickly. I'm not going to read every slide, so it'll just be an overview. And we are, like I said, all of these 8 programs are the most restrictive settings that a student can be in. And we, as a district, maximize our inclusion opportunities for our students. So even the students in the most restrictive programs do have access to inclusive opportunities as their disability enables them. Okay. So our first program is our language-based learning disabilities program, and it's elementary all the way through high school. And we do have a program at the middle school at Trottier here, and it carries on through high school. And this program is basically one that a student would have to have a specific learning disability to access this program. And it focuses on specially designed instruction using methodologies that are more focused on multisensory structured language teaching approaches. And so students in this program will have access to Wilson, Orton Gillingham, Linda Mood Bell LIPS, Linda Mood Bell Visualizing and Verbalizing, the Empower Writing Program, Framing Your Thoughts, Thinking Maps. There's all types of curriculum that go with this program, and it really is based on student need. Okay, next one is the Transitional Learning Center program, and this is at Melican Middle School, and it is also at Algonquin. We do have some students from Southborough that are in the program at Melican, and this is also based on student need. Their disabilities are mostly intellectual, autism, neurological, and communication, but they need more intensive academic and social and communication support. They may have some sub-separate academic programming in the Learning Center, like math or reading or sometimes science or social studies, but they also go out and work in the general ed setting, depending on need. Okay. Next one is our Castle program, and the acronym stands for Communication, Access, Socialization, Transactional Supports, Learning, and Emotional Regulation. This was based off of the work of Emily Rubin in the CERTS model. She was the one who brought this to our district many years ago. And social communication, emotional regulation, and transaction supports are the highest priority of this program. Students work with AAC devices, augmentative assistive communication. They work on vocational communication skills, social pragmatic skills. Those are the areas of focus, and it really depends on the age level. Obviously, our kindergartners are not working on vocational skills, but our middle and high school students are. And then these students have a board-certified behavior analyst connected to the program. the assistive technology specialist, an AAC consultant, and the school psychologist, as well as speech and language folks, are very connected to this program. And it's at Finn, currently it's at Finn, Peasley, Proctor Z, and also at Trotter Middle School. And that could change. The next one is just the Transitional Learning Center program at the high school. I already talked about what that focuses on, and that's at Melican, and it's also at the high school. But it's kind of the same as Castle at the high school level. Next one is the Therapeutic Learning Program, and better known as TLP. That's currently at Lincoln Street School. And we also have Southborough students that attend that program. This program is really for students with emotional or social disabilities. And they can have one-to-one instruction in this program. They can have small group instruction in this program, as well as going out to their classrooms to receive supports in the general ed setting. Again, a board-certified behavior analyst is associated with this program, occupational therapy, speech and language. We also have a school social worker assigned to this program full-time, and a special ed teacher is also assigned. Okay, next one is the middle school version of a therapeutic program. And there's two programs. One's the Student Tiered Educational Program for Success, STEPS at Melican, and the Counseling and Academic Learning Model, which is called CALM here at Trotter. This is designed to support students who may or may not be on IEPs. So this is the only program where students may or may not be on IEPs, and that is because we support home hospital or transition back to school in these programs, as well as service students with mental health needs that need more consistent programming throughout the day. So this is all supported by a special ed teacher, a BCBA, a school adjustment counselor, and educational support professionals, which we call ESPs in our district, in consultation with special education teachers. Okay, next one is RISE, and that's Reaching Individualized Success Educationally, another acronym, and that is the therapeutic version that we just talked about at the middle school, but it exists at the high school as well. The general ed teachers teach these classes, all of the classes in the RISE program, as well. Some of the students also go out into the general ed setting if they are able, and are supported by ESPs in the program or our aides. And the special ed teacher can also co-teach some of these classes sometimes, and sometimes be available for consults. But they also have learning center taught by a special education teacher to get additional supports. And these, again, are for students with social emotional challenges. All right, and then lastly, well, second to last, is the Community Access Program, and that's called the CAP program. This is for students ages 18 to 22, so some Southborough students are in this program. And they are, their disabilities range from intellectual, autism, neurological, and communication. The primary focus of this program is really to provide vocational supports and transition to adult services as they get closer to the age of 22. We have vocational and employment opportunities, social skills and communication, health and self-care, functional daily life skills, and leisure and community access. And I can talk about quickly, there's a slide in here about some of the programs that they do access within the school and outside in the community. And enrollment in this program occurs through the team process. Okay, and lastly, we have the New England Center for Children Neck Partner Classroom, and that is currently at the high school. And this really is a program that was designed in the very beginning before we had Castle. So we have a teacher from NEC employed in this program, as well as a BCBA from NEC employed in this program. We do provide the ESPs for this program. And it's based on the principles of ABA, and it's been here for a long time. And you do need to have a diagnosis of autism or with related disabilities. And it's really the systematic approach to education. Okay, and that's at the high school. And we do have Southborough and Northborough students in there. And then I just wanted to highlight some of the extracurricular activities in all of our schools. We do have the Titan Games, which we're very proud of every single year. It's around the May-June timeframe where all of our students are invited to participate in more like Olympic events. And it takes place, well, it has been taking place at the high school. I think this year we're doing it at Trotter because of the construction and things going on at the high school. And that's K through age 21. And we also invite our REACH, our AVC REACH students to these games, and it's just a great day. We also have Project Unify at Trotter. And at ARHS, we have Best Buddies. And then we have our various unified programs. We have Color Guard. And then the last two are community-based supports that are available to CAP students, so parents sign up for this. We have the Thrive After School program, and that students can go to that. It used to be housed at the high school, but now it's off-site, and students do attend that, and that's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays after school. And then we have our Best Buddies MRC Pre-ETS program that's available now at the high school on Mondays, and they come during the school day, and that's Mass Rehab Commission, and it's transitional services. They provide pre-employment transition services through MRC, the Mass Rehab Commission, and they have just recently said they will continue this program throughout the summer for our students on Mondays. So that is it for our programming. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions? I have a couple. So I guess just a similar question, to some extent it may be, but maybe not. Similar to, I think it was Paul that asked it in the last meeting, if you had budget for more resource, not a wish list, but where would the next place be that you would like to support in this organization?
I think that currently we have the staff. It's more maybe being more creative about shifting staff and thinking about how to use our resources more efficiently in the future as we move forward, because every single year our population changes based on people moving into town, the preschool and the kids starting at the early ages of 3, and who are the students we're servicing and what are those disabilities. And we keep a very close eye. Every single year we look at that population and we tweak our programming to make sure that our kids are serviced. So I wouldn't say we need more. Certainly, we have things in the budget that are approved and move forward as we go through. And we as a central office team and all the principals get together every single year and talk about the resources that we need to move our programs forward. So I think right now we're okay.
So your requirements change each year as people move in and out, but
right, like the
yeah.
programming would change, and we might have to shift certain teachers to do different, but we might have to do a small group in social studies at Trotter Middle School because of the cohort of students coming up from Neary. So we're always very planful. We always take a look at the population to see who's transitioning to the next school and then what we need for supports for that with our current staff.
All right, thanks. So the other thing I noticed, and I don't think it was my imagination, is as we worked through the slides and I looked at the locations where a lot of these programs sat, it seemed like they were measurably more Northborough locations than Southborough locations, especially at the elementary school level. Is that, I mean, it could be for a variety of reasons. Is it because the concentration of students for that program may be more in one town versus the other, or you've got maybe staff that exists? There can't be a lot of difference in facilities.
Yeah, it's
Or
not
is it just-
staffing. It's not staffing because we would move staff to whatever. It's more based on student need. So, you're right, sometimes it's more Northborough heavy and sometimes it's Southborough heavy, depending on the
Right.
population. So that is, and it's also about which district approves which programming to be located in their district, so it's a bunch of
Can I
things.
just add one comment too? So oftentimes, the program was established originally as a result of a need in that community, and it has remained there.
Continuity.
But if you look at a 10-year look back in terms of students, there's a balance of Northborough and Southborough students who attend the programs.
Quality.
Are any of the programs dependent on a particular facility, like location? So you need to be in that school system because it has, it's on the first floor, ramps, whatever? Oh, okay. Everything is adjustable based on where
Yes.
the student need is. That's excellent.
Everything is handicap accessible, and we just went through an audit 6 years ago, and everything was approved, that all of our facilities were up to speed. We have another one coming up the beginning of next year where they'll be walking through our buildings again to make sure. But no, it's not based on the location of what they have. It's more based on student need.
Sorry, I'm going to add, so I also think it's important that the programs that are housed, for example, at Lincoln Elementary School, that is part of Lincoln Elementary School. It's part of the community. It's not just a program that we're housing there. It's an important part of the whole climate and culture at that particular school. Therefore, we try to maintain that because a lot of work and effort goes into making sure that it's part of the school. It is
Community,
a key
it
part
is.
of the school.
Yes.
And another program that we host that Marie alluded to is the Aspen Valley Collaborative. They have their REACH program here throughout our district, and there's one at the Woodward School, one at Trotter, and one at Algonquin. So that is more Southborough heavy on that side, where we're inviting students from the collaborative, so from a variety of, including Northborough and Southborough, to be part of those communities as well. And I know they're an important part of those schools.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Legislative update time.
Yes, so I'm not sure if
Anyone with
Principal
students?
Lyon would like to stay for the legislative
Stay-
update, or head into.
I was
Oh,
thinking,
well,
I was thinking about mentioning that.
respectfully declined.
I was thinking.
Thank you.
I was thinking about mentioning it, but I thought I wouldn't.
So really quickly, just a couple updates on the legislative front. First is the governor's budget was released. So one of the things that we're looking at is making sure that Southborough is a minimum aid community, that we get the minimum amount of aid because it is considered a wealthy community. The governor's budget was $30 per student. The Mass Municipals Association is advocating $100 per student, so we'll continue that advocacy. So that's the first. The other is special education circuit breaker. So as we spoke about, the out-of-district tuition for specialized private schools increased by 14%. So we are continuing to advocate that we, as a district, have some mitigation money as a result through circuit breaker funding. So that is something we will be advocating for. And Becky is watching that very closely. And then lastly, although it is not specific to Southborough, it's regional transportation reimbursement. So making sure that is funded at the committed rate that the state has stated. Although Southborough does not receive directly regional transportation reimbursement money, it is positively impacted by the regional transportation that happens at the high school, and it offsets some of the costs that we see in Southborough. So, and then one addition that I did not include in the memo, and that is just universal free meals for the 23-24 academic year. So Keith is keeping an eye on any legislative advocacy. He's been working closely with Project Bread to continue to make that a high priority for the state and actually the federal government as well. So those are
Questions? Yes,
I
sorry.
have one question. For the governor's budget, the $30 per student, is that comparable to last year, or is it less?
So last year was $60 per student.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's
That was actually added as it went through the process, so
Yeah.
it
Oh,
was
okay.
added by the legislature, not in the governor's budget, so.
Okay.
I was on a call this morning, and the hope is that maybe that will happen again this year.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, thank
Wow.
you. Yeah.
So that's the legislative update, and then MSB update, I'll be real quick. I was going to have Keith do it, but for the time of efficiency, I'll go quickly. So basically, we are still waiting to hear from the MSBA board to be accepted into the feasibility phase. So we are waiting. We've been in contact with MSBA. They have a board meeting in April, and then June. It looks like we will not be on the agenda until June. Jason Malinowski, the chair of the NERI Building Committee, is keeping a close eye on it, and we'll be convening the committee, NERI Building Committee, shortly, just to make sure we're staying
Ready to go.
ready. Staying ready.
Before and after school care program?
Oh boy.
Yes, so as part of the work we're doing with the extended day program, I did write a letter to the committee to hold the tuition for the 23-24 school year as is. So that was something we had previously stated, but we also wanted time to review how this first year has gone. So in partnership with our finance team, as well as Carrie Packard, our director of SEDP, I think we are safe to keep the tuitions as they are for this year and extend it for one more year. So I would love the committee support to move that forward, so we can start deeper planning for the next school year. Becky, would you like to add anything, or is that good?
No, as Keith said, we have worked collaboratively. We've looked at where we've been so far this year, so now that we've had, what is it, are we in our 10th month?
10th
ninth
month, yep.
We really feel like we have a true picture of the cost of operating this program, and so we feel confident with moving forward with the same level of rates.
Mhm.
Community will appreciate that, for sure.
Any questions about this one? All right, so I guess I'd entertain a motion to not increase the 2023-2024 SEDP tuition fees.
So moved.
Moved by Kamali,
Second?
seconded by Katura. Discussion? All in favor? Kamali, we had a side topic that we, is that something that
Yeah,
you
sure.
want to talk about for a second? It's just a,
So I will, I can make a more kind of like formal presentation or commentary at another later, but
more heads up.
yeah, just for extended day program, as I've been talking about, it's with families and just thinking about it some more. Right now, we don't have an opening, or we don't have the resources to accommodate the pre-K children, but we have pre-K children going to the school system. And usually if you have a pre-K child, you got a 3rd, 4th, 5th grader as well. So, out of the, yes, I know it's a convenience factor, but there's also a part of the equity part of it, in that the cost of having to get the childcare that's not within the SEDP, it's, I feel like it's, it burdens those that need the help the most. And so I just want us to kind of continue to review, right? That's all I'm saying, just continue to review opportunities for us to bring in some. We might have to put a cap on the number, right? Because I know there's special like ratios for children at 5 and under, et cetera. So maybe not for the 3-year-olds, but for maybe the 4-year-olds or the 5-year-olds, we can accommodate them at this level. So that's just, I've said it before, I'm just reiterating it. I think that the piece that's been brought to my attention when I listened, paid attention to my family, the parents that have children in the program is, oh, but I have a younger child and I still have to pay. You have to kind of have to go outside of the system. I send them to school from 9 to 2:30 at Finn, but then after that, now $500 per week more. I have to figure out what to do from 2:30 to 5:30. And so I'm just telling you that if we as a NS Borough could like offer that to X amount of families per year, I don't know, whatever application they'd have to do, it would be very, very welcome.
Could I just make one comment?
Yeah.
So, we don't disagree with
Yeah.
your thoughts around offering extended care for preschool age kids. The licensing agreement that we're allowed doesn't allow us to.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just not able to provide that service. So it might be something the committee wants to think about advocating for, and thinking about how can districts provide preschool extended day programs if it's the will of the committee.
That's state licensing, or is that,
Because we fall
Commonwealth?
under the DESI license.
Yeah, we do.
So it would
Okay.
be like, we'd have to get a separate
all right.
EEC license in
Mm.
order to operate that program.
Good to know, bad to hear, but, all right.
Right.
Yeah, it's not out of
So
a
we'll
lack
stay
of
Yeah.
want to do it. It's just, right now, we're not able to.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
And then I guess I want to hear more about like, oh, the option of if we found a workaround, does it get a little sticky because we just went through the phase of trying to bring everything in the house and now we're going to have something that's under the DESI umbrella and then also maybe a plus program that is not just for, so I guess I don't know what the answer is, but if we can articulate it, then I can answer those questions that are coming at me for that, yeah.
I think a lot of the heavy lifting was probably.
I don't know,
done-
people
was-
come to me and
was-
they
was-
ask me
no,
these
it's probably done
questions,
to
so,
put the
yeah.
program in-house, right? I mean,
Well, the
and-
bureaucracy doesn't always make sense.
Right.
And I think this is a layer of bureaucratic process.
Aren't you happy I asked you to bring it up?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so are we now to the ratifying, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're now to ratifying the Southborough Teachers Association?
Yes, so the school committee, Southborough School Committee, and the Southborough Teachers Association has been negotiating for the better part of the past 8 months. I had to actually do the math. It's been 8 months. It's been a long time. I would characterize the negotiations as very professional, very respectful, very collegial, and very student-centered. And just want to thank the Southborough Teachers Association for their work and their efforts. The Southborough Teachers Association ratified the agreement on February 28th, I believe. Was it?
March 1st.
March 1st. And this evening, the school committee will vote to accept the contract between the Southborough Teachers Association and the school committee for a 3-year contract to be in effect as of the first day of 23-24 school year, and will continue to be in effect to and including the day prior to the start of the 26-27 school year.
So I'd accept the motion to put that on the floor, the way the superintendent described it,
So moved?
moved by Katura. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Kamali. Discussion? I'd like to make a comment. I'd like to echo the superintendent's comment that the process was very collegial. I think I can speak for the school committee and that it was a pleasure to work with the association and get this done. I think everybody, I think, felt it was you know, a positive process to work through. So hopefully you will take that back, Dave, you know, to the association. But it was a pleasure working through that with your team. Any other comments?
Yeah. I'll say that too, that just that this agreement and bargaining process, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that folks don't see, and we just vote on things at the school committee meeting. But so kudos to just everyone, like the administrator's office, the teachers, and us, I guess, to working together on that. And I think we did it in good time. Our intention as the school committee was to make sure that the staff felt seen, that we recognized all of the past 3 years worth of work that's been happening, and I guess continuity of the relationship that we want to have going forward. So I think that we've achieved that based on the feedback that we've heard so far, and just continue looking forward to having the teaching staff that we have and the new ones come on board that will be attracted by the contract that we have in place. So.
Yeah, I guess I'd just like to emphasize what you said about behind the scenes. The school committee really doesn't do a lot of behind the scenes. It's the teachers association and the district. It does all the behind the scenes heavy lifting, and it just made for a very, very smooth and collegial process. Ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor? None opposed? Thank you.
Can I just add too, I just want to
Please.
thank the Human Resources Department, Heather Richards, and the Finance Department, Becky Pellegrino. There's a lot of data collection, a lot of time and energy sitting at the table in preparation, and just thank the team for making sure that all that data and the thinking, so that when we sit down to negotiate, it's efficient and thorough process based on data and based on good information.
Very true. Very true. Approval of gifts and donations, and I think we actually, we need to vote these, and I think we need to vote the dollar amounts. So I guess I'll look for a motion to approve 24 $100 tree gift cards for a total of $2,400, and 8 $500 BJ's Wholesale Club gift cards for a total of $4,000 from the former Southborough Extended Day Program to the Southborough Before and After School Care Program to purchase supplies, and to approve donations to the Woodward School totaling $125 for sticker collage activities from multiple donors. Is there so moved?
So moved.
By Kamali, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Couture. Are there any questions about the amounts of these, or where they're from, or anything about them? Okay, ready to vote?
Mm-hmm.
All in favor? There are none opposed? We are going to move past old business, since there is none, and move to the superintendent's report.
Sure. So in your packet is the enrollment report as of February 14th, 2023. So at this point in time in the school year, there's very little variance from month to month. We are keeping a close eye on kindergarten enrollments. They are a little, the enrollment is less than we were anticipating. However, it is still early, and typically we see in the next several months a significant increase in K enrollment, but we are monitoring that very closely. And then in your packet, I'm going to skip over some of these and then turn it over to Becky so we can be efficient with our time. So you have the capital plan, the FY24 school committee approved budget, and also the FY24 budget book in your packet. for your information, and then I will turn it over to Becky to go over the FY23 monthly general fund expenditure report, grant update, and then revolving funds account review.
Okay, thank you. So as of February 28th, 2023, we had $103,539 remaining, or 0.46% on the bottom line for fiscal year '23. In comparison to last year at this time, where we had $347,654, or 1.6% remaining. So the finance team has encumbered all of our anticipated fiscal year '23 expenses for the remainder of the year, and we are also currently reviewing all open purchase orders to ensure that these are purchases that are going to be made by the district. We have also put a hold on any non-essential purchases at this point, given the fact that we still have about 4 months remaining in the fiscal year. We're closely watching this budget, and we will continue to do so. So I welcome any questions at this time on the monthly general fund report.
For vote to approve.
Yes, please.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the fiscal year 2023 budget, monthly general fund expenditure report as of February 28th, 2023 until audited.
So moved.
Moved by Jen,
Second?
second by Jess. Any discussion?
Kamali, but yeah.
No,
Oh, second by Kamali?
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion? All in
No.
favor? Opposed? And opposed? Back to you. Or back to, I'm sorry, back to
Grants.
Becky.
So in terms of the ESSER II funds, you'll see that we have nearly expended all of our ESSER II funds. During the month of February, the district did pay for a portion of a mental health and wellness referral helpline. It's the William James interface, and that's in conjunction with Southborough Youth and Family. So we currently have just over $1,300 remaining on ESSER II, and as a reminder, that does have a closeout date of September 30th of this year. We anticipate using the remaining amount for a kindergarten EL curriculum program. We did not expend any additional ESSER III funds because, as we've indicated, we are planning to utilize those funds in FY24. So at this point in time, we still have $210,610 remaining, and again, we have until September of 2024 to utilize those funds. As far as the revolving accounts go, so with the facility rental account, year to date, we have received $77,480, let's call it $4, we'll round up, in revenues in the facility rental account. The additional $16,000 that was received in February was for the space rental by Assabet Valley Collaborative that actually we've talked about a couple times this evening. And the projects that have been paid for from this account include the parking lot paving project at Finn, the landscaping work here at Trotter, and the roof replacement as well here at Trotter. In terms of the extended day program, year to date, we have collected $552,000, and our expenses have been $373,162. We continue to trend with our projections, and as I said, I do feel confident with the numbers that we have put in place for the Southborough Extended Day program in terms of the tuition. And we're actually in the process of compiling a budget for fiscal year '24 for the Extended Day program. And that's
Questions?
everything.
Are there any large, whatever that means, items that you know of that might be coming out of, probably, I guess, the facility rental revolving account between now and the end of the year? I wouldn't think there'd be much coming out of
No,
extended day.
We're planning on utilizing those funds for the paving project here
Right,
at
but
Trotter,
I'm sorry, you mentioned that, other than that,
No,
thank you.
hopefully you didn't just jinx us that we have something.
I'm sure you'll remind me.
That's-
And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Educational policy?
None at this time.
None at this time. Policy development, none at this time. Personnel items.
So in your packet is the personnel report as of March 8th. The good news is there are a number of appointments. And also just want to acknowledge Pam Lunder, who will be retiring at the end of this academic year. And we will have an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate her work in the next couple of months ahead. So we'll let Mr. McCoy lead that work.
I think I may.
Communications, none at this time. We've got one set of minutes to approve. It's the open meeting minutes of February 8th. And it's in the packet. Anybody have any questions about it? I'd entertain a motion to approve the meeting of the open meeting minutes for Southborough School Committee of February 8th, 2023.
So moved.
So moved by Jess,
Second.
seconded by Katura. Questions? All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Bills and payroll agenda items for next month. Anybody have anything to add at this point? Obviously, you can,
Yeah.
please.
Can we do a world language update? Okay.
And, I don't know.
Smiley, he knew that was coming?
Predictable.
Wow.
Maybe not next month, but it might take like the SELF program. I said I was going to bring it up, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
The SELF program that is at Melican.
Uh-huh.
Not so much that we have one, but I guess I'd be curious to hear, like
Can
how
we
are
get one?
how are we doing
Yeah.
that here in
Yeah, are we
Southborough?
already doing something like that? Like, is that already incorporated into what we
Some
do,
of, some
or-
of the factors that I hear from my middle schooler that they are doing in their health program, but perhaps Mary Ellen or one of the principal may be able to better say. And then, again, I was going to address this via email, but I'll bring it up here now as a potential agenda item. I wanted to talk from a facilities point of view about EV charging in our parking areas. So Keith, maybe not just from our school perspective, but the town, right? Because it would be a great service both for the teachers and administrators that have EVs, but then when school is closed, you know. So I just want to talk about that.
So just a general comment, real quick.
Grants and, I
But
have
we-
all the ideas.
We do
of-
have a solar feasibility working group that is still in session. We have not met this year. So that will be a good catalyst, some good energy for us to bring that forward.
So, just, again, more attraction for teachers that want to come here that, have those sort of vehicles. Families that live here that are coming from other towns with school districts that had that available. So this week, I can shape it however you want, but
So noted. Anything else?
that's it.
And obviously, if you think of anything, hopefully far enough before we post the agenda to the next meeting, speak up. All right. Public comment. Well, go ahead, Shauna.
Yes. You can sit here, that's fine.
Oh, can I just sit here? All right. Sorry, I know it's late and everybody wants to get home.
You have to do the name and address
So,
and stuff.
Johanna Shaner, 14th Air Lane.
Thank you.
For having me again. First off, so I'm here just as an individual parent, and I do want to first off recognize Student Support Services, Mary Allen and her team, and all of the fine work that they do regarding, our special education programming within the district. Me personally, as a parent with a kid on an IEP, we have to work a lot with Marie and specifically like her team, and it's usually a wonderful experience. So I did want to recognize that. I did want to just bring about, from a parent's point of view, some perspective on the special education programs that we have. Some of the sub-separate programs that Marie spoke about tonight. And I thought it was a good point that Roger had pointed out about the location. Most of the locations of the sub-separate programs are in Northborough, and I wanted to just talk a little bit from a parent's point of view, what that's like having a child in the Southborough district that may need some of these programs that are just located in Northborough. So for instance, my own daughter started out at the Castle program at Finn, and after she graduated from Finn and went to Woodward, fortunately, she didn't have a need at that particular point in time to be in a sub-separate program, but if she did, she would have been sent over to Northborough. And I know so many families in Southborough with kids, personal friends of mine, that struggle every single year when it comes down to determining, and these are kids on IEPs, to determining when they're going through their IEP process and they're talking about the placement of their child. Even though the services may be in Northborough, they're wanting to keep that connection to the Southborough community, but that program is not located in Southborough. So they're having to make that really gut-wrenching decision. Do I send my child and accept a placement in Northborough, or do I keep them in Southborough, knowing that, you know, maybe some of the services that they need are in Northborough? I also don't know, and I don't have any like anecdotal, like real data, but when you think about how the programs are like laid out, especially like Castle, so our Castle program is located at Finn, and Finn is K-1. I don't know if they go over to Northborough and then have to come back to Trottier for middle school, 6 through 8, and then go back to Northborough for Algonquin. So are those kids being bounced like back and forth between the districts? And that's not keeping a connection to the community, and it's not keeping a connection to their peers, and it's really, it's hard for those parents to make those types of like really gut-wrenching decisions. And I know it's not only for the Castle program. I know a couple of incidents of for the TLP program as well, where we don't have a TLP program here in Southborough, but I know so many kids or parents of kids and personal friends who their kids feel like, the parents feel like their kids could really utilize TLP. But again, you're coming down to that decision. Do I want to send them over to Northborough? Do I want to take them out of their community? Do I want to take them away from their peers? So I just wanted to offer that parent perspective. I know that there are different reasons why, especially from a regional school system, that we have to set things up in a certain way, but it's not cut and dry from a parent point of view, and there are some really difficult decisions that I think families have to make just because of the way that many of our sub-separate programs are set up and centered in Northborough. So I just wanted to bring that perspective. The second thing I just wanted to note is I think it's really fantastic that Milliken is starting up a unified basketball program. I think we have a couple of good programs within our district, especially at the high school. The high school is stellar when it comes to unified programming. But if you take a look at K through 8, I think within Southborough, it would be really nice if we could establish some more unified and adaptive extracurricular programming. Again, going back, that's where a lot of social connections are made, friendships are made, friendships are established, and I think that that's something that when we talk about and we take a look at especially the SPED population of students that we have, that's definitely a growth area that I think that we can take a look at, because it's definitely something that we don't have right now. We do have Project Unify, and I think that they meet like maybe once a month, but we don't have any ongoing programming or extracurricular activities after school here in Southborough, at least, for our kiddos like on IEPs who may need additional support or help to be able to do sports or extracurriculars with their peers, with their neurotypical peers. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
David Barron, fourth grade teacher and president of the Teachers Association. I can't miss this opportunity to say thank you personally on behalf of myself as well as the membership of the Southborough Teachers Union to say thank you for voting unanimously to ratify the contract for the next 3 years. As always, we had a collaborative approach to negotiations. It was thoughtful, respectful, fair, and maintaining a great relationship, as well as with Superintendent Martineau. And also thank you to HR and Finance for all the support you give us to help us be ready at the table. So thank you very much. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate that you stayed until 10 minutes after 10. Okay, I think I would entertain a motion to adjourn unless.
Do we have another comment or?
Comments?
Okay.
Oh, we have a comment on that.
No, I do not.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn unless you want to hang around.
So moved.
So moved.
Almost a tie. Jess, you seconded?
Yeah.
Okay, so moved by Katura, seconded by Jess. All in favor? It's unanimous.
All right.
Thank you very much.